Welcome, everybody, and thank you for attending tonight's Real Abundance Zoom call. I appreciate you being on the call. I know that we're all very busy and we have a lot of stuff going on, particularly in these times. So I'm really have gratitude and appreciation that you made it on tonight. So thank you very much. And with that, I want to quickly recap some of the stuff I've been talking about the last couple of calls. And one of the things is to keep the positive energy. And one of the ways to do that is through gratitude, which I just paid to you, and appreciation. And if you're ever feeling down, please give that a try. Just say, be grateful. What am I grateful for? Grateful for my kids, grateful for my job, grateful for my wife or husband. I'm very grateful for my wife, Amy. Grateful for whatever it is. Just do it, and you'll see how your tone will come up, your vibration, your attitude will come up, and it's very good. So that's one thing. The next thing we talked about is we're coming up to the year end, and 2020 has been a little challenging on a number of fronts. And but what we need to do is we need to set our goals for 2021, and hopefully things will normalize. But if they don't, we still can keep the forward momentum and keep the charge going. So to set goals it's very important, and I want you to all start thinking about that so that when it comes January 1st, you have your goals already set. So I want to talk a little bit about that real quick before I get in with Michael, our guest today. I mentioned last week that when I do goals, I like to at least do 4 main categories. And the first is me personally. That could be like weight loss, being a better person, exercising more, those types of things, which is just about me as an individual. The second area of goals I like to set is me and my family. What do you want to accomplish with your family? Maybe it's you want to go to a vacation together, or you want to experience something together, like go on a hike or a vacation, or do something that's important to make your family life better. The third is your intimate groups, the groups that you're associated with, and that could be your church group. It could be your Real Abundance group. Like right now, we're a group, we're a community, and we could have goals associated with that. It could be your parent-teacher organization at your child's school, but we should have some goals associated with the groups. And then the fourth is all humanity or all society, and that might be I want to give $10,000 to, feed the children fund or something like that, or 5,000. So you set a specific goal. And what you need to do with your goals, and this is important, is you need to think in terms of something very specific of what you want to accomplish, what you want to have as a result of the goal. For instance, you might say, I want to have an extra $10,000 in the bank. Well, that's a very specific $10,000 in the bank by X date. Or it could be, I want to be earning an extra $5,000 per month income. So that could be something that you put there. But it's a specific havingness, something that you can specifically have, and then with the date certain to accomplish it. Once you have what you have, then you can figure out what you need to do to get that happiness. Now, the world may come at you at different angles, and you can adjust the do based on when you start, but you got to think in terms of steps to get the doing this. For instance, if you're doing Real Abundance and say you want to have an extra $5,000 a month income from Real Abundance, you need to break that down. Well, what is it going to take to get $5,000 extra a month? Well, that could be, let's say, 1,000 people in your downline. Well, what would it take to get 1,000 people in your downline? Well, if you can get a certain amount to duplicate per month, that means I need to bring in 3 people per month that can duplicate. It might not be 3 people that just sign up, but that will duplicate. And then you break it down so that you know week by week what you need to accomplish. And it's very important that we keep track, because we've got to keep little momentums, little wins. You have to have little wins, because that's what keeps you motivated, that you're moving towards your purpose. So if you can break it down into weekly and even daily, you can get little wins. And if you have little wins, you'll keep on wanting to go towards the big goal. If it's just one big, huge thing sitting out there in some distant future, it's not so hard. You won't align your actions. Okay, so you figure out what you want to have, and then you figure out what you need to do to get there, and then you need to figure out who you want to be or who you need to be. And I'll give you an example. If you want to promote Real Abundance and you want to promote the healthy aspects of it, DeMarco's a good example of who you want to be. He lost 20, 30 pounds. So he's being that person that lost 20 or 30 pounds. Well, if you're not there yet, if you're like, say, a bum, you can't talk to people about making money if you look like a bum, act like a bum, and do things that a bum does. You're not being somebody that makes an extra $5,000 a month. And I like to use a quick little example of this, which is different from business, but I use it quite often. When I was in high school, I had a friend, good friend who was in a band, and I went to watch him play, and I was pretty amazed. The band was pretty talented for just young high school guys. They sounded really good, and the singer did a good job as well. And but they all just stood there. You know, they were just like standing still. So after the event, I said, "Man, you know, Tony, you did a great job. That's awesome." I go, "But why do you guys all just stand around? Why don't you kind of get crazy and, you know, run around, jump up and down, and swing stuff around and like rock stars do?" And he goes, "Oh no, we can't do that. We're going to do that once we get more popular." Well, you're not going to become the rock star if you don't start being the rock star. You won't have what the rock star has until you start being the rock star. So when it comes to business, you got to be what you want to be before you're going to have the have. So that's important. Now, once you figure those things out, what you got to do is you got to go into action. If you don't go into action, it doesn't matter. It's just mental gymnastics. It's just air business, as the Germans call it, Luft something. It's just air business. And you know, a lot of people are always talking about what they're going to do, and they're always going to get going tomorrow. You got to do action now if you want to change your future. And with us, what is going into action being? Well, it's sharing the articles, sharing the information that DeMarco's really laid out. It's about being a product of this product, taking it yourself, getting other people to take it, to use it, and experience results. I mean, I like to use DeMarco because he's here, so he lost weight, tremendous amount of weight. He feels younger, he feels better, he looks younger, he's healthier. Well, he should share with everybody he comes in contact with. I know everywhere I go, I share it with. My car's wrapped, I wear these shirts, everywhere I go, I let people know that I'm a real water dude. That's what you got to do. If you believe in your heart and what you're doing, you got to share it. You got to go into action. And you can do that. Obviously, DeMarco's creating a phenomenal online system that just makes it easy as long as you just do the stuff. Set your page up, go into the groups, share the articles in the groups. And I want to share something else real quick with you. I have an example. One of our main sales guys is just in town right now from Texas. And a few weeks ago, he calls up and says, "Dude, I just saw this killer article about the benefits of negative ionization. It was awesome. It was at blah, blah, blah spot on the internet." I go, "That's great." So he goes, "Send me a link." I sent a link. What is it? It's one of the Fractal Media. In fact, it's one of the stories Kathy wrote. So it works and it gets out there. It's just a matter of getting it posted, then following up. Another thing is we also have offline tools. Like this is a quick little example of an offline little something you could hand out, drop off, and it goes through and explains the negative ionization on the back. And then of course right here you put your name and contact number, and you could drop these off at people, hand them out. So we have a number of tools that you can use to actually share what we have. So I encourage you, got to go into action. And then also you got to be a product of the product. I use nothing but, I can't drink. I went to a restaurant the other night with our family, and I took a little drink of the regular water they had there, and it was just like, oh my God, this stuff is just terrible. I'm so accustomed to real water. Everything I do, if I'm anywhere, concentrate, juices, coffee, everything's real water, real water, real water. And I'm just amazed at how bad regular water tastes compared to real water. So why does that happen? Why does it taste so much better? That brings me to our next segment, which is let's talk about some negative ions and what they really mean. And tonight we have our guest, Michael Mercier. We were supposed to have him last week, but he ran into technical difficulty and couldn't get on. So you guys got to listen to me just kind of jabber on for a bit. But we are lucky to have Mike with us. Now, you recall a few weeks ago we had Mike on, and he talked about how he started using the real water concentrate, the real electron concentrate in his smoothies and his soups and stuff like that, and how he was digging in and doing some research to find out why it is or how these things work and what's going on. And now, Mike, I understand you're getting more and more excited about this, and you're getting more and more motivated, and you've done some more research. So you want to share some of the new revelations you've come across, some of the new ideas you've come up with? Mike?
Let me help him unmute. You got it? Okay, great.
How's that? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, we
can
can
hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes. I've been looking into this. It's pretty interesting. Oh, look at her.
Hey, Mike, DeMarco, can you switch Mike out so he's the #1 screen?
No, leave it right there, man.
No, I got to do what here it comes.
No, that was a mistake.
Okay.
We just lost our audience. I mean, would you rather look at me or her? Okay, folks. By the way, yesterday was my birthday. And,
Go ahead, Michael.
yes, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, yesterday was my birthday, and
Happy birthday.
yeah, thank you. And I wish I would like everybody to send me money. No, I'm just. Okay, never mind.
No problem, Michael. Mine's the 20th, okay?
Okay. All right, just
Practice what you preach.
You don't have to send me in. All right. No, when I'm looking, I've been actually looking at a guy by the name of Gerald Pollack's, all of his a lot of what he's doing. And I've been and they've got it on YouTube. You can go there and you can actually go to a lot of his lectures and look at them and exactly how negative ions work in the body. And it's really amazing. In fact, I suggest everybody go do it because it's really how our body works. It's how we take in our nutrients. It's a difference between being sick and being well. It goes much further than we think. Now, taking in negative ions in the water is helpful. There's other things that's helpful too. In other words, it's really part of a lifestyle. And this should be part of your lifestyle. The real water should be part of your lifestyle. Also, the foods you eat are important. They found that certain foods helps create negative ions in the body. If you take chia seeds and you mix it with real water and you let them, so where they get real kind of, where they kind of dissolve, but not completely, they kind of become like a gel, and you drink that, that really would produce a lot of negative ions in your body. Okay, and negative ions, let me get to a few things that you might not realize. Would you think that blood would quit pumping through your veins if your heart stopped beating? You would say, most of us would say probably yes. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the fact is, if you have negative ions in your body, if the amount that you should have, and if you have like infrared lights shining on you, those infrared lights actually makes the cells work in the blood veins and pumps water and will pump blood even without the heart beating. In other words, they've actually taken dead mice and they've shined infrared lights on them, and they've actually been able to show that it's still pumping blood throughout the veins and everything. Now, if you want to stay young and if you want to keep your health, if you want to keep your skin well, by the way, I don't even want to tell you how old I am after yesterday, Jesus. But anyway, that's besides the point. Let's put it this way. There's some mountains in back of me. They ain't as old as I am. But if you want to keep your skin looking good, you want to stay young looking, you want those blood veins to be working, because that's what's pumping nutrients into the skin, and the skin is an organ. But not only is that the only organ in the body. We've got our liver, we got our heart, we got our kidneys, we've got various different organs throughout the entire body, and we want to get nutrients to them. And the interesting thing is, without negative ions, without this negative ionic water in our body, it really makes it hard to absorb these nutrients. And in fact, there's now tests being showing that when you get too many positive ions in the body, you actually start to get sick. And people that are, which is probably, something came to my mind, probably one of the things when people get cancer, right? And they go on the alkaline diet and they get well. And this has happened quite a bit in the past. Okay, they go on the alkaline diet and they start to feel better. And what's happening? Well, a lot of the things that we're eating, I'll give you for instance, coconut oil, ghee butter. Ghee butter is purified butter, usually made in India, but they make it here and you can buy it organically at Costco. Chia seeds, or if you just take spinach, if you juice spinach and you just drink it right away, all of these things helps your body create more negative ions. The sun, the infrared light from the sun actually helps us create more negative ions. In fact, I went out and bought an infrared heater, and I'm actually been using it and sipping on real water as I'm getting these infrared lights in. And because it's kind of what Brent said earlier, you know, if you've got to start acting the way you want to be. Okay. I got up this morning, the first thing I did was 100 push-ups. Why? Because I don't want to be walking around with a cane going, how are you, right? I want to be active. I want to keep going. And I think most of us do. In fact, if there's anybody that doesn't want to stay active and doesn't want to be healthy, I mean, if you really want to grow old, you want to get sick, you want to die, I don't know what you're doing on this meeting. I really don't. I mean, maybe you shouldn't be here. And I don't want to throw anybody off, but if that's your attitude, and some people, I believe, and this the truth, that I met people like this, they don't want to change. They want to just keep going in the exact same direction they're going in. Brent brought it up, hey man, a bum can't go out there and do business because of the way he looks. And you have to, in other words, he was saying you have to act a certain way in order to achieve what it is you want to be. And this is really true, but maybe what the bum was doing was actually seeing himself as the bum, and he got really good at it. You know, he got really good at drinking all the time, not working, not caring about whether he had food, nice clothes, stopped caring about everything, right? And he got so good at it that this is where he ended up. So really, he did exactly what he set out to do, and he was very, very, very successful at it. So if we set out to do something else, in other words, if we set goals, it can work both ways. And another for instance of this, have you ever been to an old age home? You go into these old age homes, you meet these old people, and there'll be one there, and she'll just be sweet and lovely, and you just love talking to her, and you're thinking, boy, there's a sweet lady. You walk by another one, and she's just cranky as hell. Well, not necessarily, it might be him. I don't want to say it's just her, but it could be him. And but what's happened here, really? They've taken all these years to get really good at to get good at being exactly who they are, okay? And so what do you want to get good at? Do you want to get good at staying healthy? Do you want to get good at making money? Do you want to get good at, you know, at the things that you love in life, or the things that maybe if you don't love them in life, then you're going to get good at that too. Okay. But all I'm trying to say is you can elevate yourself simply by seeing yourself. And Brent was 100% right, by seeing yourself and then actually acting like that. When I was doing psychology, I remember people would come and they were depressed. And I used to tell them, I'd say, you know, but just start acting happy. Even though you're not happy yet, if you start acting happy right now, eventually that's actually going to happen. In other words, take the persona of being happy, and if you get used to acting happy, pretty soon you just are happy and you're not acting anymore. If you want to start acting, if you start feeling like you're wealthy, and you know, a lot of us, sometimes you get in a situation where you're not wealthy. You know, you're looking into your pocket, you know, you walk in to buy something that's $100 and you count out your change and you find out you're $99.30 short, right? And you're going, that ain't gonna work. So sometimes we get in this position, but it can change around so quickly. It's really unbelievable. In the year 1999, I was in that situation. I remember, I don't even ask me how I got into that situation because I don't even think about it. But I remember I started a company and literally I made $38 million in 6 months. That's a lot of money to make in 6 months. And it just happened just like that. Now, let's go look at the other side of the coin. There was a big crash in the market. And in another 3 months, I was back to where I started. And I lost that 38 million. So, but you know, when I think back on those days, and I'm thinking, my mind, you know, I started worrying about the money. I started worrying about all the money that I was accumulating. In other words, I changed my mindset too. In other words, instead of just letting go and letting God and the universe handle the details, I was worrying about the details. I was worrying about, oh, what if this deal falls bad? What if that deal? You start to get into all these things. You start thinking about them, and you start creating your future. So after that, what I decided to do is I decided to start writing film scripts, getting really healthy, getting back to being the way I wanted to be. And did it come all at once? No, but you know, during that period, I wrote a total of actually 38 film scripts. I wrote 30 film scripts in the last 4 or 5 years. I made one movie, and I was making another movie, and I got shut down because of COVID virus. But I'm going to start back up again next year, and actually, I'm telling you, things are looking good. Things are looking very, very, very good for the coming years. And the interesting thing is, being on this meeting, there's things that are looking good for everybody here. I think if we turn around and all of us start working together, you know, there's also something called the collective consciousness, okay? Or at least some people believe that. One famous psychiatrist that I'm thinking about in particular. Well, I'm going to let you figure out who I'm thinking about. But anyway, you can look up the collective consciousness, you know, giving you a little homework here. And I'll give you a hint. It's not Freud, but it is one of the legs, you know, one of the legs that psychology stands on. We can actually start making things happen right now, and there's a collective consciousness, and if we're working together and we're all having the same thoughts, it seems that that's actually going to propel us in the direction we're going even quicker. And so it's just something, you know, and let me ask each of you, and just think about, you know, you don't have to answer me, but answer yourself in your head. Have you found that it's easier doing something with someone else? In other words, when there's more of you working at the project in a particular direction, and all of you are energized, and you're all trying to accomplish something, and you're out there really working at it, and the next thing you know, you're just there. You didn't even notice that you got there because it was fun, because you were working with people and you were having a good time while you were doing it, and then you woke up, and the next thing you knew, you were exactly where you were trying to get. Now, let's take that to the homeless guy. I'll bet you he was by himself and he wasn't working with anybody. You know, he did it all on his own. He actually started isolating himself from everybody. And the more he isolated himself from everybody, and the more he didn't be involved with the people around him, the quicker he got to where his goal was, which was, you know, living on the street and being homeless, okay? But he could turn himself around too. And, you know, and I think what we're doing here, if we turn ourselves around, we're setting ourselves up as a model to help other people. Okay, and hey, and in all honesty, some of those people probably could use a little bit of a helping hand and help get pulled out of their situation. And some of them might have been in it long enough where maybe they could get started. It's hard when you're in that situation, I think. And I don't want to take anything away from those people either, because just like us, they're human. But anyway, back to
negative ions.
Back to negative ions. Yeah, but we're getting back to negative ions. But if we don't go out there and actually start getting people to take them, and we don't actually start seeing that future, it's not going to do us any good. It's not going to do you any good if you don't take it. I could give you the elixir of life right this minute, and if I handed it to you, and I guaranteed you that you would be young, you'd be 20 years old for the rest of your life, and if you didn't take it, how much would it help you?
None.
None. It wouldn't help you, so you have to take it. You have to do all the things that are necessary in order to get to where you're going, okay? if you want to stay, if you want to stay healthy, if you want to work, if you want to have money in your pocket, you have to work. You have to be constantly moving forward, and the universe will just offer opportunities to you. They'll say, here's an opportunity, here's an opportunity. Then you have to start taking advantage of it. When you start finding that you're actually working towards a goal, a lot of new ideas will just come to you just out of nowhere. And suddenly you're going, wow, this will work. And then you start doing that new idea. And what happens is you start to succeed. You start off doing 1 push-up. Pretty soon after a week, you're able to do 3 push-ups. After 2 weeks, you can do 6 push-ups. Pretty soon you can do 20 push-ups. I remember I got up to 350 push-ups, but it didn't happen overnight. You know, in fact, you reach a stage where, you know, you get to like 100, and then to try to get to 110 is almost impossible. But then you get there, and then suddenly you're doing 110, 120, 130. So, and I'm sure people that are creating wealth goes through the same thing. They get to one stage, but what happens? Sometimes maybe they get satisfied with that, and they just want to go out and spend money. They don't want to keep doing what they did to get to that stage. The very thing that got them there in the first place, they give it up, and instead they go out, they spend their money, they start partying, they start doing this, that. And the next thing you know, they're that homeless guy with the cup in their hand. So,
Hey, Michael, we can't go too long. We got to get this wrapped up. So,
okay, everybody, I'll see you later. Don't go away mad, just go away, please.
well, you know what you just said there, that one of the big things is like championship teams, right? It's so hard to do a repeat because of that exact instance. They reach a goal and then they don't carry it on. It's harder to carry it on. But
You got
DeMarco,
to keep doing it, though.
I know that. DeMarco, can you transfer it over to me so I can close up?
Yep, sir. Go. All right.
So I want to thank Michael because so much of what he said is so profound, and it really is the mental game. And I saw Cherie put in there Carl Jung, so you're right on that. And I actually like Jung way better than Freud, but that's another whole thing.
You and me both.
But one of the things that Michael talked about is this collective consciousness or moving in a direction. Well, right now, the negative ions, we are, as a collective consciousness, moving towards the negative ions. And when I tell you that, I'll say Dr. Gerald Pollack is a good example with this easy water and showing how the water in our cells separates with the negative ionization being close to the cells and the cells pushing away the positive ionization. But if you also look out there, there's this whole new group of people that are doing these salt lamps and salt rooms. The little orange, you see the little orange salt lamps? Well, there's actually people doing whole rooms with that. And again, the whole thing is it's kicking off negative ions. So you're breathing them in, they're bombarding your body with it. And then beyond that, there's a whole new thing called grounding, where you walk on Mother Nature or out in the sand or real dirt without your shoes on. And the whole idea is you ground by getting all the positive ions to come off your body and then bring the negative ions up to you. And again, it's all about negative ions, but most people don't understand what a negative ion is. So we are, like you said, we're paddling right now in front of the wave, but the wave is going to be catching up. So now is the time to go into action so you can really take advantage of that. With that said, I want to thank all of you again for being on here. I have very much gratitude and appreciation towards you. And as you know, our purpose, or my purpose, is to elevate people's lifestyles with better health and nutrition, increased wealth, and enhanced relationships. And we are a community, and as we can, like Michael talked about, if we continue to work together, it'll help us all grow faster. And I want to thank DeMarco. He's doing a phenomenal job. Amy's been watching his videos. She's starting to do posts and stuff, and she's telling me how much she appreciates DeMarco. He's laying it out, and it's really simple. It's just a matter of doing it. And if you do it, you will be successful. So thank you all very much. And with that, Thursday night, DeMarco is going to keep on giving you some brilliant world-class education on how you can use the internet and Facebook groups, etc., to build a very lucrative business helping others be healthier. What a win-win.
And if I can add, Brent, on Thursday, the holidays are coming up, so we won't be doing it on Christmas or New Year's. But I want to just let everybody know that this Thursday, you really won't want to miss it, because everything we've been talking about, I'm going to go ahead and put it together and show you people, conversations, and how this whole process will work. And at the same time, you should be, by the weekend, you should be able to grab these videos the way Amy has me setting them up and easily use them.
And the point here too is share with people, get people on that call, get people on this call. Think of it, who can I invite to this call that could benefit from this? That's how we'll grow. Take that little action, share it with somebody, get one person on this call, get one person on DeMarco. How many people do you know out there that wish they could make some money sitting at home right now? Well, DeMarco's giving world-class education. It's not just for Real Abundance, it's for ed or whatever you want to do. And
Right.
it's free right now. It will cost money later once we get into momentum, but right now it's free. You're the tip of the sword, so to speak, or the tip of the spear. And I am grateful for what DeMarco's doing. So thank you, DeMarco. And with that, we'll see you later. Thank you.
Thank you.